my wife Lizzie and I, we love to travel and we try to do it a bunch, and every time we're trying to figure out, hey, where do we want to go? There's two questions that we always ask ourselves. One, how far do we want to travel? Especially now that we have a kid, that time has gotten really, really short. And then two, how much do we want to spend? And just having those two questions alone give us some options. And those options allow us to look through them, figure out where we're gonna have the most fun, what we wanna do, what we're in the mood for, and then we can pick our vacation and we can start to plan. What I've seen is that when you have clarity on something, it's really easy to make a decision. But oftentimes when you're wondering, oh, how much is this gonna cost? Oh, are we going to the right spot? You end up never booking a vacation and you're just constantly staying at home either because you're scared or you just don't have enough options. And there's a lot of similarities to what I just explained to you and trying to buy a home. Now, in any market, home buyers are paralyzed. Whether it's a heavy seller's market or a heavy buyer's market, there's always home buyers who are sitting on the sideline wondering, is now the right time to buy? And especially now, as we record this video in October of 2022, home buyers are definitely sitting on the sidelines because interest rates have spiked and they're at 7.25% as of yesterday, which has a lot of people being like, I can't afford the home I want. And what I want to kind of share with you is two questions that if you're considering buying a home, no matter what market you're in, these are the questions that will help ground you and figure out if it's the right time. And if it's not, how do you get there? And so I think first we have to look at like what happened in the previous years in the frenzy so that we can understand where we're at and understanding that why there's always going to be buyers on the sideline who are paralyzed. Now, in the frenzied market, I would say from 2018 till mid 2022, there were homes or inventory here in Colorado was extremely low and demand was through the roof because interest rates were really, really low. And so your purchasing power, you had so much ability to buy homes and upgrade into new homes. You could sell your home, get it for $200,000 above list price and roll that over into your new home and you're almost breaking even, right? You're almost having the same payment. And so people were moving constantly. But as a buyer, right, a lot of buyers were getting really hesitant to drop into the market. And the reality is they had two big fears. One, they didn't want to overpay. Right? When you have homes that are being bid $100,000, $200,000, I think the highest one I saw was $400,000 above list price. Obviously, there's that fear is this home worth it? And there's a real fear like, well, I don't want to overpay because in markets that are really competitive, you have to give up a lot of your rights as a buyer. We had to get really creative with the offers we were writing. A lot of times home buyers were having to waive their ability to make requests at an inspection. Or they were having to cover the appraisal gap, meaning, whatever the original list price was and whatever their contract was, they were willing to cover the difference in cash to make sure that the seller felt confident that they were able to close. Buyers were also giving sellers, they were paying for fees that sellers would normally pay for. They were giving sellers free tickets to the Rockies or to the Avalanche or you name it. They were incentivizing the seller to no end to just try and stand out and be able to compete and get a home under the market. And that competitive environment can have a lot of people feeling really paralyzed. Like, oh, I don't want to step in and deal with all the bullshit. I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait for the frenzy to end. I'm gonna wait until the housing market crashes. Right? That's a common thing I've heard over the last 4 years. I'm just gonna wait till the market crashes for me to buy. And those buyers, here's your opportunity because the market we're in now, not that the market is crashing, but the market is very, very different. And it's really interesting because homes are being sold at a discount. And the buyers that were waiting for the market to crash are not the same buyers that are saying, well, I just don't know which home to buy. Because right now in a market where there's more homes, inventory is on the rise, buyers have more options, right? Buyers have the ability to sleep on a home, to go see a home and take a nap and figure out, right, hey, is this really where we want to live? Because in that frenzy market, it was like going to see a home, going on a first date, and then having to ask that person to marry you. You had 24 hours, if that, to make a decision. But buyers have options now. And because of all those options, buyers can get paralyzed. I remember I was dating a girl back in college and she loved the Cheesecake Factory. And I hate that place. Outside of the cheesecake, I hate that place. Why? There's too many options. You're looking through that thing, it's like a dictionary. And you get through that and there's so many options that I felt paralyzed and I would always just get the chicken fingers because I didn't know what else to get. And so buyers are feeling that right now, right? There's so many options that they don't know what to do. And so they also don't know if now is the right time, right? You're seeing prices, not decrease, but you're seeing price reductions, right? In some places you are seeing values of homes decreasing. And that creates fear in buyers, right? The buyers that were waiting for the frenzy to over, now that the frenzy is over and they have the opportunity to get a home at a discount without having to give up any of their rights as a buyer, they're still sitting on the sidelines because they're wondering if now's the right time to buy. And the two questions that I think are really important for home buyers to ask themselves, whether it's in that frenzied market or it's in a market where you can get a discount like we're seeing today, are these two questions. The first one is, where do you think home prices are going to go? Now, home prices are really determined by two things. It's basic economics, ladies and gentlemen, supply and demand. Supply, we are still at historic lows. In that frenzy that I talked about, we are operating right around 1.6 months worth of inventory. That frenzy started though because we were at 2.6 months worth of inventory in October of 2018. And October is usually the month that's going to be a good indicator on how the spring market's going to respond, because the lower the inventory, right, the higher the demand. Now, where do you think home prices are going to go? Well, with supply being really low, right? Right now we're at 1.2 months worth of inventory, a heavy seller's market. Where's demand? Well, demand is being suppressed right now. Demand is being suppressed right now by the fear of the recession. Demand is being suppressed right now by rising interest rates. But that demand is still there. People still want to live in Colorado. People still want to buy a home. And what I believe you will see happening is that as interest rates start to come back down, if it's from the 7s to the 5s, buyers are going to see that. It's like, oh, this is my opportunity. I got to capture it now before the interest rates go back up. And you're going to see a demand coming back into the market. Now, will it be the same frenzy like that we saw in 2021 and the first part of 2022? I don't believe so. I think that was an outlier, but I do think that the demand will be, there will be a resurgence to that demand, and you're going to see people start to get back into the market. And so because that demand's going to come back and inventory supply is really low, appreciation is going to continue to rise. And a lot of economists are projecting that, over the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to see anywhere from 3 to 7% appreciation on a national level. Now, Colorado's going to be different than that, but on a national level, 3 to 7%. So if you take the average of that, and we just say 5%, right? Homes are going to appreciate 5% year over year. The question that you have to ask yourself then is, can you outsave the market? So if you think homes are going to go up in value, and the answer is yes to that, well then homes are going to be the cheapest they'll ever be today. Which then leads you to the second question. And the second question is, where are interest rates going? Now, the Fed's already said that they're going to hike rates 2 more times this year. Now, a hike in rates by the Fed doesn't always equate to a hike in mortgage rates, but we've seen that every time the Fed has hiked rates, interest rates for home loans has either stabilized, dropped for a second, they've always increased after the fact, which is why we're at 7.25%. So if you believe, and there's a lot of people who believe that interest rates will continue to go up, that we haven't seen the worst of it yet. So if you believe that they're going to continue to trend in that direction, then the question you need to ask yourself is now the best time to secure this interest rate? Or if you believe that interest rates are going to go down, then the question is now the best time to secure a home at a discount, use the seller's money to temporarily or permanently buy down your interest rate, and then when they come back down, when interest rates come back down, it's your opportunity to refinance, lower your monthly mortgage payment, and save some money. So you would have saved money twice. You would have saved money on the home, and you'll save money on your monthly mortgage payment by simply refinancing if they do come back down. So ask yourself those 2 questions, and I think that will give you a good just kind of baseline on where you want to go. Now, if the answer to both of those is that you think they're going to go up and you think interest rates are going to go up, then now is a really great time to buy. But if you're unsure or you're not really quite sure what the data is going to look like, I think that's a really great chance to reach out to a real estate professional and have a conversation with them, right? And don't let them tell you that right now is the best time to buy. What they should do is give you information so that you can look at it, make an educated decision, and figure out if now is the right time for you to buy. Never forget that. All right, hope you found this was helpful. I thought that was really great. You know what? I knocked that one out of the park. And listen, if you have questions about the market, about interest rates, about home inventory here in Colorado, put them in the section below. Reach out to me. I'm always happy to help as much as I can. All right, till next time, take care.